Okay, what's going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of Energized. Today we have a very special guest on the show.
It's me, it's your man Roscoe. Today, it's just the two of us. We have another Irish video coming at you. Barry, how are you doing?
Ross, I'm doing well. It's the weather's back nice again in Dublin. We're still banging out the podcasts.
Go on, Ronaldo.
We felt like we haven't done a rugby one in a while, and today we decided, we were like, right, we're going to pick the Irish rugby team's greatest ever starting 15. Really see the sport turned pro in Ireland in 1995. So there's not a huge...
From then onwards.
From then onwards. So there's not like a huge pool. Well, there is a big pool. But
it's 25 years. Like 25 years is a long time. If you were like to pick Man United's greatest team in the last 25 years, like that'd be a long time.
Yeah, true, yeah. But we did an Irish football one. That did pretty well. We've also had like
Irish rugby legends on the show.
Yeah, Tommy Bowe.
If you're interested to see any of them get into the team,
purposely don't pick them. But we'll actually make sure, if you're watching now, we'll make sure to link them 3 interviews at the very, very end. So make sure to stick around. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to like, subscribe, and let us know your best 15 as well, because we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we really want to achieve that. But Ross, we may as well start up at the very, very beginning. What way do you want to do it? Do you want to pick 1, 2, and 3 the front row, or do you want to just go one by one?
I think we'll go one by one. What do you think? I think it's better that way.
Okay, whichever way you want to do it. You far ahead.
Right. Well, starting off, number 1, loose head prop, Cian Healy. 98 caps for Ireland. 5 tries, 4 Heineken Cups, 3 Six Nations, 1 Grand Slam, and 1 Lions Tour.
You forgot to mention the one time you went swimming with you as well.
And went swimming on Christmas Day with me, the highlight of his career. I think like that's fairly self-explanatory. I think like Marcus Horn was sort of Munster starting prop along the time when Healy came through and he sort of took his spot. But I don't even think it's competitive, to be honest. I think Cian Healy is the best prop, loose head prop Ireland had ever.
Yeah, he's also for a while when he was getting injured, it looked like he was fading out, and then he's like come back even stronger. But I remember we were doing the Irish football stories, and I mentioned my stories with Paul McGrath and Roy Keane. But like, have you got any like stories? Because I'm sure some people are watching this all over the country or somewhere else, and they've never met Keane. What's he actually like?
He's really, really nice. He's like into knives and coffee. But like, I remember being in primary school with them. The ball used to go on the roof. There was like a shed, and the ball used to go on the roof, and someone had to climb up and get the ball off the roof. And Cian Healy used to be able to like shoulder press someone like by their feet onto the roof. He was always a freak of nature. He was also like really into rollerblading as a kid as well. So like there you go. Like if you ever see Cian Healy, ask him if he's doing any skating recently.
Yeah. Did you foresee this career from? Like, I know obviously he was doing brilliantly in Belvo, and then really, what a career! Like, what a career!
He was always just like naturally the strongest person who walked into the room. I think he can bench over like 200 kilos, and I'm pretty sure he was the All Ireland shot put champion as well. I think he just like, right, I'll do the shot put too, and like then did that as well. Like he's a monster.
Yeah, it's sort of like you hear stories in the NFL, and you hear like the players just coming through, and it's just like he was well known. My number 1 as well is Cian Healy. Like, I mean, I just couldn't pick anyone.
Man, I'll just watch you scribble out Marcus Horn.
I'll scribble out you, the Junior Cup team. But okay, so we go into the hooker.
You go first this time because I went first last time.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Keith Wood. Obviously we have Rory Best there as well, but Keith Wood, I think he was like he was there through the transition into professional. He's one of Ireland's greatest ever captains. Like, what he's done. Well, was it European Player of the Year or World Player of the Year?
He was nominated for World Player of the Year anyway.
Yeah, definitely. He was definitely up there. But I actually have a funny story about him. He does a lot of work with news talking, and like, you see him and you talk to him. He's actually very, very sound. But I remember one of the lads who just gave us a shout out today for Chris's podcast, Ben Griffin. He swims for Ireland, but Keith Wood was getting interviewed, and Ben walked right through. So basically, as if someone just put their hand over here. And then he went nuts at Ben, and then I just couldn't stop laughing. So there was cardboard.
Keith Wood went nuts on him.
Yeah. And I couldn't picture it, but there's like massive cardboard cutouts in the lockup of Keith Wood. And I was like, here, Ben, you probably want to bring that home. I went for Keith Wood. What about yourself?
I actually also went for Keith Wood. Keith Wood, 58 caps for Ireland, 15 tries. When Keith Wood retired, he holds the record for most tries out of any hooker in World Rugby history. He also went on 2 Lions tours, and he also holds the record for most tries in a game by an Irish player. He scored 4 tries against the USA in the World Cup. So, on the Keith Wood. Obviously, massive honourable mention to Rory Best. Great Irish captain, and I think we've sort of said it to Tommy Bowe and Andrew Trimble, his Ulster compatriots, that he's probably one of the most underrated players and captains Ireland will ever have.
Yeah. Also, who knows how good Jerry Flannery could have been as well.
Yeah, I think it's just if you had all those players fit, you'd start Keith Wood. I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Then we go for number 3, Ross.
I'm back in. It is the absolute bull that is Tadhg Furlong. See the way I went the ball, John Hayes, and then Tadhg Furlong. 44 caps, 5 tries, 1 Heineken Cup, 1 Six Nations Grand Slam, and a Lions tour starting all 3 Test games. Tadhg Furlong is one of the few people that Ireland have had who is the best player in the world in his position consistently. John Hayes, I thought, was an absolute great player. He was a massive fella. He was second row originally, moved into the front row, and I just look at him and go, he was great, but Tadhg Furlong is world class, and he's the best tie head prop in the world, and there's no one else that could have made this team.
I agree. I have the Bull Hayes here as number 2 as well, but like there's something about Tadhg Furlong, the way he's put in that bracket with like Brian Driscoll and Paul O'Connell. Like, just he could have played for any country if you were able to do transfers, you know.
Yeah, I think any country would try and steal him. He's that good, and I'll never forget. Like, I don't know if you've seen it. Do you remember like Rampage and Run against New Zealand, where like you actually like pick people up, run with the ball, and just threw them down. I was like, he's unstoppable when he gets going. So I'm just like, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Right, Baz, give me your second row there.
Okay. Well, like the thing is, right, like obviously I picked Paul O'Connell, right? But I was like, who compliments him best? Had like Malcolm McKelly written down just for like the extra bit of height, and obviously James Ryan is just he hasn't been there long enough to put him in like the greatest ever. So I picked Donegal O'Connell. Like, I mean, just the amount of caps he had for Ireland. Like he was
playing as jocks.
Yeah. Like you need a bit of camaraderie here as well, and then also like they played together with Munster. I mean, it just made a perfect partnership for myself.
Yeah, obviously I had Paul O'Connell, 108 caps for Ireland, 8 tries, 2 Heineken Cups, 3 Six Nations, a Lions tour, and the captain of a Lions tour. Paul O'Connell would actually be the captain of my team here as well. There's no better leader than Paul O'Connell. Funnily enough, I actually have gone for James Ryan as my other second row. He's only 26 caps deep, so he's only about like 14 short of Tadhg Furlong. I think he is one of the best second rows in the world. He's already scored 3 tries for Ireland, so he's only actually 5 short of Paul O'Connell already. He's already got a Heineken Cup and a Six Nations Grand Slam under his belt. He's probably a future Ireland captain. And yeah, I looked at Malcolm O'Kelly. I looked at Donegal O'Callaghan. I even looked at Devin Toner because I think he's probably even underrated, and went, they're all good, but if you're looking for a complete all-round player who puts in the tackles, makes the hard yards, brilliant in the line-out, I think James Ryan ticks all the boxes.
Oh no, yeah, that's why I had to think about it. Another story, James Ryan. I was out a night out, and Ireland just after won. I remember winning. I got a photograph of Reece Rullock, and I actually got one with Bundy Aki. But I got into their party, and I was like, "All right, James." And then like he was so tall, and like he just completely blanked me, and I was a bit freaked over that. But I think I realized after a while that like he was celebrating a win. So the last person he wanted to talk to was 6'2"
Basmo from Energized.
6'2" Barry Moore. But,
First, I've actually met Paul O'Connell like 3 times. I have no stories to say other than like he's really nice. Although you know what actually was happening, he was sort of getting ushered to leave, and he was like, "No, those people over there want to meet me.
Yeah,
I'm waiting." I was like, "Oh, legend."
yeah. You can just. Oh, he is a legend. We should go into the flankers and then number 8.
Yeah,
Ross,
go ahead.
I'll go ahead. Okay. See,
Um,
this is a tough
give
one.
me a 6, and I'll give you a 7.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I actually picked David Wallace.
Yeah,
There was something about David Wallace that he was just like an absolute brick. You could picture him playing in the NFL. He was really the only person that really stood out because obviously I have O'Mahony at number 7. I had to fit these people in, but I was also really big fan of Alan Quinlan as well. But you go.
I have Dave Wallace as well. 72 caps for Ireland,
Yeah,
12 tries, 2 Heineken Cups, the Grand Slam in 2009, 2 Lions tours with 3 starts in the tests. David Wallace was an absolute phenomenal player.
yeah.
He
Hold on,
really
'cause,
was.
like, what was it about him? Because like I was like when we started when I had to write out this team, I was like, he has to be in it. I don't know what like it was. What is it
Well,
about?
I think he was a very good footballer, as in like he was quite fast. He was big. He got over the try line. Like 12 tries is quite a lot for a back rower. So especially one who doesn't play 8, because he never played 8. He normally played 7.
Yeah,
And I was like, look, for me, I just thought he was an absolute fantastic
yeah.
fella. Always reliable as well.
He was
In
great
at
when
6,
he was great. Sorry, he was great when Munster were renowned for the maul as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
In at 6, I've actually gone for Sean O'Brien, multiple time Heineken Cup winner, 2 Six Nations under his belt, 2 Lions tours with a test, 6 tries, 56 caps for Ireland. The Tullow tank was just such a good ball carrier. I think he really put the fear into the opposition when he had that ball and he got going. Look, this was actually one of the hardest sort of positions to pick,
yeah.
because you could have Stephen Ferris, you could have Dennis Leamy, you could have Alan Quinlan. Shane Jennings, I think, is often forgot about because he played a lot of his career over in Leicester before coming back to Leinster.
Very
You
good point.
know, who knows if like Dan Levy was remained fit and kept playing. Josh Van der Fleer is absolutely fantastic. CJ Stander is brilliant. So all these players are like, it's one of the most competitive positions for Ireland. So there was
Yeah,
so many brilliant players.
yeah. That was the one. The flankers. I was a bit like, who will I pick? Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Obviously, I said I'll put Peter Manny at 7. There's just
mm,
I think ever since that photo when he was just like that. Like I know obviously he's had an amazing career. Like
mm.
but yeah. I mean I don't know what really else to say. In a number 8, Ross, who did you go for?
There was only one choice here. Jamie Heaslip, look, 95 caps for Ireland, 13 tries, 3 Heineken Cups, 3 Six Nations, a Grand Slam, 2 Lions tours with 5 tests, 100 test games in World Rugby, nominated for World Rugby Player of the Year 2 times, guest on the Energized show. How could you not pick him?
Do you remember we had him on the show and then you gave him that intro and it was like it was like and like
Yeah.
change of pages.
It was actually quite funny because he was like, "Jeez, I've never had an introduction like that." I was like, "Here, look, I had to cut you short as well."
You did have to come short.
But look, unbelievable. Didn't say, almost called, told people to feck off when he was wearing his white boots. Great ball carrier, great offloader. Just almost underrated, even, as some might say.
I'd agree with that.
Obviously,
I'd agree with that.
the other options, I suppose, were maybe Axel Foley from
Yeah.
Munster. Anthony Foley was a fantastic player, but I think it's one of those things when someone does pass away, you almost remember them being better than they actually were, as opposed to, I think Jamie Heaslip was just incredible. So many great memories with him as well.
Yeah, I had Jamie East today as well. And then I actually had Axel Foley written down as well. So your starting 8, if you want to just go over them again.
Yeah, I had Cian Healy, Keith Wood, Tyke Furlong, James Ryan, Paul O'Connell, Sean O'Brien, David Wallace, Jamie Heaslip.
Yeah, I had Cian Healy, Keith Wood, Tyke Furlong, Donegal O'Callaghan, Paul O'Connell, David Wallace, Peter Manny, Jamie Heaslip. Okay,
Nice.
so this one, we get into the backs then, Ross.
Yeah, this is your territory, Basmo.
Okay, well, okay, I'll start. Obviously, we go 9 and 10
Yeah.
together, the halfbacks. This one was a sort of a tricky one because, as I said earlier, I wanted to go with a sort of a partnership, and obviously it's either like Stringer, O'Gara, Murray, and Sexton. But like,
So
I had to go with Murray and Sexton. What they've done the last few years, the partnership they've created, is like, I mean, it's really made the whole country really, really fall in love with the rugby. I know we haven't been successful in the World Cups, but over the last few years, like, it's really, really exploded. Like, people have really bought into it more, and it's just, I don't really know what to say about them. Who'd you go for?
I actually went in for Peter Stringer, 9. 98 caps, 6 tries, 2 Hunting Cups, and a Six Nations Grand Slam. Peter Stringer never got brought on the Lions for, which I think is absolutely shambolic. But in terms of actually getting the out half quick ball, I don't think there was ever anyone better at it than Peter Stringer. He also like developed as his career went on. Like his little darts in behind what's called in from scrum half like became notorious. And I was just a massive fan of Peter Stringer.
Yeah,
Murray's almost he comes in almost as an extra forward because he's so big and he's like excellent with the box kick. But in terms of style of rugby that I like to watch play, I thought Peter Stringer was absolutely phenomenal.
Is that what it comes down to? Yeah, because they are, as you said, they're both very, very different.
Oh, very, very different. Both absolutely incredible in their own right. Just for me, I just thought Peter Stringer, like he was always the smallest man on the pitch, but he was very commanding presence.
Joe was brilliant as well. And before the matches would start, Peter Stringer was standing between like Malcolm McKelly and Paul O'Connell, and then the camera would go like up there, then drop down, and then go back up.
Make the cameraman do the work.
Iconic moment, man.
At out half, I still pick Johnny Sexton though. 91 caps for Ireland, 814 points, like multiple Heineken Cups. 3 Six Nations with a Grand Slam, 2 Lions tours. One of them was a winning tour, 5 caps. He's just so clutch. You know what I mean? I was actually sort of joking to Chris the other day. I go, Johnny Sexton's gas because he only plays about 10 or 12 games rugby a year, but like they're all the big games. Yeah. And like he always shows up. He really, really does. I know he had a bad performance against England there most recently in the Six Nations, but look, he's the captain of Ireland now. And also, when I look around O'Gara, he's done some incredible things, but I've also seen him, he played like the worst 10 minutes in Test match rugby history, I think, when he was playing for the Lions and he basically got battered, and then he also conceded the penalty for South Africa to go and win the Lions tour. So like I was like, right, thanks, Raj.
Slightly harsh. But like,
although you know what, the best pundit on TV.
Yeah, but like if you look at this, Ross, right? O'Gara was like chasing Humphreys into the spot, and then Sexton was chasing O'Gara. There's no one chasing Sexton. Really?
No, I think it's like Humphreys was sort of like an 8-9 character, as in like 8 or 9 out of 10 all the time. And then O'Gara was 9, but like on his day, he could be a 10. As opposed to Sexton was like a 9.5 to a 10 nearly every day.
Yeah.
And then like I feel like the Ross Burns, the Joey Carberries, they're sort of Ian Madigan's, they were always like almost ceiling at 8.5 to 9 out of 10 players, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's strange the way like Johnny Sexton.
Now who knows? They might jump on Ross Byrne and Co because they're young, but that's what I look at.
It's strange the way like Sexton has reached these heights with no one really batting them out for a spot as well. Whereas like O'Gara and Humphreys both they were getting chased down, so they knew they had to bring their game to an extra level. Just interesting, like
definitely is
when you look at it like that. But what way do you want to go now?
We'll do the centres. I think centres and then win. Yeah,
you fire ahead first.
I have the iconic duo that is Gordon Darcy and Brian O'Driscoll. Gordon Darcy, 82 caps for Ireland, 7 tries. Brian O'Driscoll, 133 caps, 49 tries. Both with 3 Heineken Cups, 2 Six Nations, a Grand Slam. Brian O'Driscoll went on 4 Lions tours. 4. And then Gordon Darcy went on 1. 8 starts on the Lions for Brian O'Driscoll and 1 for Gordon Darcy. Look, Gordon Darcy has never been more blessed to have a centre outside him than Brian O'Driscoll. But Gordon Darcy was actually awarded in 2004 the Six Nations Player of the Tournament, and that was the first time they ever had that award. So, these two players like complemented each other so well. They knew where each other were at all times, and they were just phenomenal. Especially considering they were like in terms of stature, they were on the slightly smaller side.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, what when you look at rugby now, you just think of monsters, like, and then
like Tuolangi in the centre.
Yeah, but like, yeah, exactly. And
But
then
like even Bundyaki for Ireland, you know what I mean, or Chris Farrell, you know what I mean. They're big guys, but these guys were quite short. They're both under 6 foot.
Yeah, so like, what really made them? Because like obviously tackling is huge in the game, and
well, both were defensively unbelievable. I think that's what a lot of the things people don't realize. And they both had such low center of gravity that they were excellent at like evading tackles or breaking the gain line. And then obviously Brian O'Driscoll has the highest rugby IQ of anyone who's ever stepped onto the field. He was an absolute masterclass. He was the most skillful centre the world has ever seen. Everyone's seen him throw the ball over his own head and then go around and catch it. You know what I mean? Like, he came up with stuff and so many through the leg passes and stuff like that. Like, people weren't ready for that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? He was like as the last dance going on. You know what I mean? He was like the Michael Jordan of rugby, and he was just incredible.
Yeah, there's been no one like him since. I actually have I picked the same too, and I have stories on both. I remember we went to the Irish under-20s Six Nations game against France, I think it was, wasn't it? And then we went to the pub around the corner after, and Gordon Darty was there, and I was like, I have to say all right to him. And then to totally blank me. I think James Ryan was telling them about me, but Brian Driscoll obviously worked with News Talk and off the ball, and then meeting.
Lovely man.
You've met him lots of times as well. Like, more like the first few times, like I saw him, I was just like, I was just staring at him. I was like, this is the guy. He has like the keys to the castle of the whole entire country, and like I've gotten to talk to him a few times just in private, like, and he's just bang on. Like, I always tell the lads, Brian Driscoll, my mate, but like he has no idea what my name is. But like, I'm sure if he saw me, say if I got arrested, and they're after me, he'd be like, I think I know that guy. But anyone else, Ross, you throw in there 12 or 13 just to push them?
It's almost hard because they were so good and they were so iconic. If you look at all the centres now, you have your Ringrose, Henshaw, Farrell, Aki. None of them have really put their stamp on the game just yet. Kevin Mullins was a great centre back in the day, Munster, but not quite to their level, to be honest.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were hyping up Henshaw, but then it sort of seems like Ringrose is probably slightly ahead now. I don't know. Just my thoughts. Right, so Ross, we go for the wingers.
Am I going? Or are you going?
No, you for it.
I have Tommy Bowe, 69. I've 69 appearances, 30 tries, 2 Six Nations and a Grand Slam, and he's also been on the Lions tour twice. So like, really nice guy, fan of the show as well. So like, what more can I say? Look, Tommy Bowe was probably Ireland's best finisher. I would say, it was actually tough. I was considering Shane Horgan, because like Shane Horgan against England was like just like that crossfield kick was like guaranteed try time. But I went for Tommy Bowe. I think, when push came to shove and it came down to crunch time, he was one of the most reliable people on the pitch to get you to try. Who do you have?
Yeah, I had Tommy Bowe written down as well. And then I had honourable mentions for Shane Horgan and Dennis Hickey as well.
Oh, nice. And who do you have in your other wing?
On the other wing, I picked Keith Earls.
So did I, man.
Did you?
Yeah.
There's like him and Tommy Bowe are two different people. Obviously, like Tommy Bowe, as you said, like when he got the ball, he saw the line, he was going for a full stop. But the dog and Keith Earls and the amount of caps he has as well, like he's one of the top 5. He's in the top 5 list for most try scorers as well. Yeah, he's 84 caps. Tied second with Tommy Bowe, actually, Ross.
Yeah, he's only behind Brian O'Driscoll, and it's a long way to go to get to Brian O'Driscoll. But Keith Earls, incredible. 84 caps for Ireland, 30 tries, a Heineken Cup, a Six Nations, obviously Grand Slam as well, and been on the Lions tour as well. He's absolutely phenomenal player. Looking at him, you wouldn't go, that's one of the best wingers Ireland have ever had. But he's like deceptively fast. He's a great finisher, never gives up, and he's one of the best wingers the country's ever seen.
Yeah, it's funny how like it's like I know in the NFL we can bring it up because there is a likeness to both, but like they go for bigger, stronger, faster. But like sometimes the smaller guy has more. There's more. Was it the? It's not the dog in the fight; it's the fight in the dog.
Yeah.
And like his never say die attitude is just like that brings him up that extra level. You know what I mean? And he's not like you never really hear him doing any interviews or anything. He's like he keeps himself to himself and he does all the hard work. And he was missed there the last few games for Ireland. But Ross, fullback.
You know what? I really actually wanted to pick Jordan Murphy because Jordan Murphy gave me such pleasure as a kid to watch. He was such a skillful footballer. He really was. And I think maybe he's slightly forgotten about because he played for Leicester. So obviously he didn't sort of give the Irish fans much provincial joy. But the more I looked into it, Rob Kearney is actually the most successful Irish rugby player of all time. 95 caps, 16 tries, 1 conversion, 4 Heineken Cups, 4 Six Nations, 2 Grand Slams, 2 Lions Tours, and 2 caps on the Lions Tour. Like, it doesn't actually get much better than that. Has there ever been a safer pair of hands under a high ball? I'm not too sure. He is phenomenal.
You wouldn't mind throwing your baby out the window and letting him catch them, would you?
No, he's absolutely golden. And like, it's funny to think that even, for 2018, 2019, 2020, like he's still pushing Jordan Larmour, who's possibly Ireland's hottest prospect as a player. Well, I don't know if you can still call him prospect, but one of Ireland's hottest young talents. And like Rob Kearney's still pushing him for that 15 spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sorry, do you remember?
Oh, wake up!
So, do you remember we did a pre-Six Nations video? I think it was 2 years ago. A lot of people were like, "Oh, Kearney shouldn't be there. Kearney shouldn't be there." And then he came in and performed unbelievably, and everyone was like, "Geez, take that back." But just sticking on Kearney for a bit, Ross. What? Like I know you've said a lot of things there, but like, what about him? When you look at him and you're just like, how do you think he actually like reached those like amazing heights? Because he's not finished yet.
I just think positionally, he's one of the best fullbacks of all time. I mean, it's very rare he'd be caught out of position. So safe under the high ball or under just the regular kick ball. Also, brilliant kicking prowess from fullback. Obviously, took the conversion, so you know what I mean, like he's accurate. And on top of that, just like he was very good at coming into the line as well on attack as well. So I just think he just all round he had it all.
Yeah, I think O'Connell, Brian O'Driscoll, and Kearney were almost in a league of their own. But and you could add Ty Furlan in there as well, actually.
Yeah, although like in fairness, John Hayes was definitely closer to Ty Furlan, I think, than the loosehead props were to Cian Healy.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. So like you'd almost put Cian Healy in there as well.
Yeah, Ross. I know you said you'd pick Paul Connell as captain, but who would you pick as the gaffer?
The gaffer. To be honest, I think I'd pick Joe Schmidt. I think the way he changed the Irish rugby, the landscape over time, I think he was the best coach Irish rugby's ever seen. He also led us to 2 victories over the All Blacks, which we'd never done before. So Joe Schmidt's the man for me.
Yeah, I'd pick the same. I'd also go for Paul O'Connell as captain. So we'll just go back over the team. I'll go in for Healy, Wood, Furlong, O'Callaghan, O'Connell, Wallace, O'Madney, Heaslip, then Murray, Sexton, Tommy Bowe, Darcy, Brian O'Driscoll, Keith Earls, and Rob Kearney.
I think we had only 3 people different throughout the entire squad. So I had the exact same squad, except I had James Droy instead of Donal O'Callaghan, I had Sean O'Brien instead of Peter O'Mahony, and I had Peter Stringer instead of Conor Murray.
Decent
team. You know what? I suppose it's good. It shows a consensus on the players who have really stood out for Ireland. And again, like, if someone wants to come in and say they want to put Rory Best in instead of Keith Wood, I'd say fair enough. If you want to put in Malcolm O'Kelly instead of Donal O'Callaghan and James Ryan, fair enough. If you want to put in Alan Quinlan instead of Peter O'Mahony and Sean O'Brien, I'm okay with that. Murray, Sexton, Sexton, O'Gara, Murray, Stringer, pick who you want on the wings. If you want to throw in Hickey or Horgan, go ahead. These are all absolutely incredible players.
Who would you say will be the person from Connacht that would be closest to getting to the team?
Is
Because I just know neither of us have a Connacht player in the team.
Bundyaki.
Or Henshaw.
Yeah,
No,
Henshaw, if you want to call him from Connacht.
No, we got Bundyaki, I think.
Yeah.
Bundyaki.
But again, not close. But that's not to say Connacht haven't had some very good teams over the years.
Okay, well, that's like people are going to let us know in the comments anyway. But I'm going to make sure to attach our interviews with Tommy Bowe, Andrew Trimble, and Jamie Heasib here on the screen. But this was actually good crack, Ross.
Yeah, it was. It was great. As Coach Owen Roddy said the other day, taking a walk down memory lane.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like. Let us know who you changed. And as always,
Stay energized.
stay energized.